Adolescence can be a difficult time for we parents. It comes with a lot of changes that we find hard to comprehend. We have in the house today a doctor who will throw light on these changes, the factors that affect adolescents, and how this period can be managed. Her name is Dr. Chidima Ajayi, a family health physician. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Chidima, please tell us the challenges of being a teenager in the first place.
Well, what you consider, I think, well, first of all, the teenager falls into the category of being an adolescent. That is the time when they are evolving to being an adult. So basically, adolescence is a time of storm and stress, but it doesn't always have to be a time of
storm and stress.
Storm and stress.
Okay.
That's the period when parents find it very difficult dealing with their child. They're not sure. They want them to act like adults, but yet they treat them like children. You see, there are two conflicting things. So sometimes some children are confused. What exactly do you want from me? I want to think for myself, but here you are thinking for me. You know, and then during that period, there's a lot of changes that come, which parents do not really understand. And when I talk about changes, I talk about inside and outside. The first thing we would normally notice is the physical change.
Is it like hormonal changes?
Oh, definitely. Hormones play a lot of role in our growing up, you know, and everything that happens to our bodies. So the hormones are the ones that transform, basically, the physical aspect of what we see. Like your little baby girl transforming into a small woman. And of course, the first thing most of them would notice is maybe for some people is the menstruation. It comes, and of course, no, not necessarily the menstruation, sorry, but the breasts, you know, they start developing breasts, the hips get wider. And of course, during that period, some of them start experiencing their first menstruation. You know, when they start to bleed.
So they are dealing with a lot of chemicals.
Oh, well, they are kind of chemicals, biological chemicals that, you know, kind of transmitted in the body. And of course, it acts on specific organs. You know, that's part of growing up, the maturity that comes with it. So when you talk about adolescence or you talk about a teenager is someone that is evolving from being a child to being a young adult. You know, so it's usually from the age of 10 to 19. But these days, I think we've stepped it down a bit because a lot of changes now occur with people who are like 8 years old. You know, you see an 8-year-old having breasts and you're wondering what's happening. You know, in the past, a mother would bring her child to the hospital if a child is menstruating at 9. But I think a lot of factors come into play, environmental factors especially, and of course our diet. You know, and of course it's believed, scientifically it's been proven that when a child is of like really particular weight, they start to develop all those, you know, adult
weight.
Yes, like a child who's about 45 kg for a 9-year-old, you should expect her to start menstruating because the hormones that come along with it come with the the fat being produced.
So even a weight, it's a problem.
Oh yes, that's part of the physical change I'm talking about. Now it cuts across board. You know, we have some changes that are specific for girls and some specific for boys. And like there's some that are together, they share the same thing.
But the thing is that, do these teenagers know what is happening to them?
That's the point. Some of them are so confused. And that is where the education comes in. You should teach them or inform them of what to expect. Now, you see some children who grew up in a family where some things, you don't say certain things or to speak about certain parts of the body in certain terms, it's a taboo. Nobody talks about that sexuality, you know, or the fact that you're a boy having to experience feelings for the opposite sex. I mean, nobody hears of that. You know, you're 10 years old and you're having a crush on a girl.
But do
you want to get her pregnant? You know, the parents don't want you to talk about it. So, of course, definitely it causes a lot of confusion. Like I told you, it's not just the physical aspect that changes, the emotional aspect. That is why you have some children having some tantrums, throwing mood changes, mood swings. Today they're happy, tomorrow they're moody, other days they're excited. And of course, we have social change. You don't expect certain children, that is where their personality even comes out properly because they're trying to identify. You know, during that period, they want to look good. They want to be like the coolest kid. So they'd have to do certain things that will be their peers will approve of.
Okay, so what would you advise a teenager that is going through that process now?
The first
what
thing,
should a child be, the teenager be looking for?
Oh, like I said, you put them through the process. I would advise the parents not to like hide or get any information, hold information back, because the problem in our country, I think it has to do with our culture too. We have lived for so long in this culture of silence, so nobody says anything. You know, people expect you to just find it out. When the time comes, you find it out. You know, but it doesn't always work out. Things always are. Now, see.
But like you said, things have changed. We've evolved.
Oh, definitely.
There's information everywhere.
Information.
And you think that these children do not know. They know so much.
That is.
So is that still a problem?
It's a very big problem. And you see, like I said, if parents were very in tune with their children and with the changes they go through, and I told you, they go through a lot of changes. A lot of things happen. The primary part for a child to learn is the home. So if the child is not connecting in the home, it's the normal secondary parts. He leaves the home to associate with his peers. So most and bulk of his information will come from them. Yes, definitely. To them, whatever they say is the gospel truth, which is very important that your children identify with. Whatever their friends say. Oh yes, because
is the gospel truth.
Yes, because the friends don't judge them. The friends don't shut them up. Yes, they're not being judged, but a lot of parents like to judge their children. Some of them jump into conclusion, and then of course you don't even give them a voice. A lot of them come from homes where the parents have different parenting styles.
Yes, a child should be seen and not heard.
Yes, in most homes where you have the father playing a very major role, like being authoritative, not authoritarian. Authoritarian is supposedly the good one, where you experience, you do hot and cold at the same time allowing your child to express himself. But it's always good to like mix the different parenting style. But of course, we're not talking about parenting style, but I'm just letting you know that there are different parenting style. But the worst is actually the permissive type. The type where you like, you know, do what you like. The extremes, they're both extremes. Both extremes are horrible because then you don't even get to know the true child, the person you're really dealing with. And children are very good at covering up. You know, they can be what you want them to be, but as soon as they're with their peers, the changes that come along with it, the children don't understand. So sometimes they look up to older people who have been there to explain it to them. And that's where the issue of peer pressure comes in. All those things they cannot get at home, they get outside. And remember, the children are coming from different backgrounds and they have different homes that have different values. So if they can't get that information from the home, they would definitely look outside.
So how should a child, a teenager, deal with all these emotions? You'll answer this question after the break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
I'm very close with my parents, most especially my mom. I tell her like, everything that happens around me. I tell her the kind of friends I keep. I tell her what goes on in school when she's not there.
And I advise the parents to take care of their children very well, look at them very well, know the kind of friends they are moving with, and try to know where they go.
The very best way is to teach them the way of God, number one. Bring them very close to God and try to be their friends. You get it? Because if you're not really their friend, you won't get to know much about them. And whatever you think they are doing wrong, you shouldn't really make it like it's a quarreling thing. Bring the person so close to you and explain why you should do the right thing.
It's good for your child to bring their friends home because it's good to know their friends. And when I see the kind of friends, I can advise, this is a good friend, this is a bad friend. Yeah, so I do encourage them to bring their friends home.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, Chidima is about telling us the factors that can make or mar the adolescence.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot to also mention that adolescence is a period where a lot of young people like to take risks to prove a point, basically. Some of them,
it is in their...
Oh, no, they're not wired to do that. But it's part of some of them, like I told you, it can be a time of storm and stress. So some children become very rebellious, depending on the kind of parenting style they're facing or the challenges they face. So sometimes to make a point, to get away from problems they're facing, some of them do what they call transferred aggression. or some of them develop this defense mechanism, you know, trying to prove tough and all that. So a lot of things can happen during that period. Now, the issue is how we as adults or the caregivers handle such changes. Okay. Like I said, the factors that could make or mar that process of adolescence lies greatly in our hands. We, the adults, who are already, like, we've gone through that phase and we know. Now, one, I will still hammer it on our culture. Our culture doesn't permit us to embrace sexuality, to embrace who we are as male or female. Our culture doesn't allow us to use certain languages, and with that, it kind of puts a child in a box. There's certain things I mustn't say in public. Meanwhile, he aches to talk about it, you know, but our culture doesn't permit us to talk about our sexuality in any format. And then secondly, the media. The media is now fast overtaking the culture, as a lot of information is all out there at our fingertips. We have the internet, which is number one. Internet, everybody has a smartphone. Everybody has a phone that's connected to the internet that you can reach out to other people, Facebook, Twitter. If you really want to reach out to these young people, go to social media. They're not too far away. A lot of them are on social media, very impressionable for them at this period. Radio, what they hear, what they read. Just recently, my son was talking about a boy who brought a phone. My son is 11 and is in JSS1. He brought a phone with, he downloaded pornography into it. And this is a child whose parents probably don't even know that this child has been exposed to it. Now, we don't know what's happening in that boy's home, you know, or what he's watching, what he's exposed to. So like I said, what a child is exposed to in terms of media is very important. Garbage in, garbage out, yeah. You know, and nobody's curtailing it. Like I said, every information is age appropriate. We're not saying that you can give...
So if you're a parent and you see your child with a pornographic picture or things like that, what should you do?
Oh, that's the thing. My son felt not really comfortable with me to tell me, because I don't give him that look like, hey, God forbid, are you okay? Some of them start abusing their children. Now, those are the things the children don't want to see.
Really?
Yes. The minute you start dramatizing, no, you don't pet. Since you know, if you don't have information, I know in my mind I'm freaking out. Oh my God, what's my child? But you see, you cannot run away from these things. So you have to teach your child how to live amongst these ills.
Chidima,
yes,
break it down. What would you do?
What did you do? You tell them the essence
how do you break
not...
down?
See, first of all, like for me, how I dealt with when my son told me that there was this child that had pornography, and I now laughed at him and said, and you watched? He said, no, he didn't watch. No, mommy, I said, you watched. Did you? Okay, did you report to the teacher? He said, no, we just tried to keep it away from the teacher. They will punish everybody. Everybody, meaning that he was also part of it. Yeah. And I started to tell him the essence of not getting a lot of information like that into his mind. It's not something that he needs to soil his memory with. And children at that age, I told him, have a way of getting fixated on certain things. And then the more you expose yourself to that kind of information, you would see yourself deviating from what the focus is, studying. Okay. And then the more you want to start watching all those pornographic things, the more you start doing other things that come with it, you know, just to get away with it. It's a way of poisoning the mind.
But do you think that is enough to keep that child away from that?
Oh, no. But it's not about it. You can't totally keep them away, but you can actually, like, let them know that you totally disapprove of it. It's not at that point in time. We know in our heart, let's not lie as parents, there will be a time when that child will be exposed to pornography. But we don't want that child exposed at that thing, at that point in time. Yeah. There's something about fixation. As a child, there's certain things he can't handle emotionally. Some children get stuck on that thing, and before you know what's happening, it's playing over and over and over again. And that's where the issue of abuse comes in, rape comes in, because some people are so fixated on certain age stages. So we don't want that. So we let them know that it's not like it's something you can take away totally, but it's not what you're supposed to be dealing with. And of course, let them know, I use the opportunity to talk about friendship. Show me your friend, I'll tell you who you are. I don't think you need to be associating with friends who would not project you to the next phase of life, something much more important. So that's how I dealt with it. And in as much as he knows I don't approve of it, and of course I deviated and told him the importance of hanging out with friends who do something productive with their time. It kind of helped, because I noticed that it's a conversation that there wasn't any argument. You will know a child that doesn't accept what you're saying. They will argue. one question will flow from the other and other, to let you know they don't agree with you.
Okay.
Yeah. Other factors that could make or mar adolescents, right? One, again, is the family, the kind of family that child is coming from. If a child
you can't change your family now. So
Oh,
how do you adjust?
yeah,
how do you
can.
adjust yourself to the kind of family that you come
You see,
from?
that's very important. If the family has values that they cherish, things that
We do not choose the family that we are born into.
Yeah, but you can make the best
so if
of
you
it.
find yourself in that kind of family that's maybe not suitable to your person,
Yeah,
how do you
I'm not even here
handle
to like decide which family. I'm trying to tell you
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is where the family plays a role. A child doesn't know which family is going to born into, but that is not to say some children don't do very well from bad families, you know. But a family itself can make or mar that child's process of. That is why some children, they see hell before they become normal people. I'm sure you heard stories of people who tell you that I suffered. Some parents make their children do some certain jobs when their mates are in school. You know, some of them go through that adult phase at the childhood phase, and they come out with scars that, you know, they use to speak out. Some of them do very well, others don't do well, and that's where you see the miscreants, you know, at home. So family can play a major role in making or marring that process of that child. And then again, friends, very important.
Yeah, friends?
Yes. And there's something parents really do that really, it's a big bad mistake. Telling your children not to bring their friends home. I don't want to see any friends in the house. You would never know the kind of child person your child is, actually. Because if you want to know the true test of it, or know the real person, it is when it is his peers. Because sometimes they get so excited and they let themselves go, and they say certain things that could make you cringe or make you proud of them. Now, if they're with their friends, that should give you the assurance to know if they're actually transferring those values. Because sometimes you can't always be with those children, you know. So, but the only way you can be sure that they're actually living up to those values you inculcated right from childhood is when they're with their friends. You know.
So if you have tried your best to inculcate these values,
yes,
and a child faced with that challenge,
that's where the pressure is.
Yeah.
Peer pressure. Yeah. Like I said, values are so important, but I think parents have gotten that concept of values very wrong. You know, like I said, parenting too also, it plays a major role. Now, from children, their self-esteem is like, you know, don't forget that child is also a human being and has personality. So sometimes your parenting style that worked for you, from your parent, might not work for that child. So you need to calm down and really listen to your child. Listen, not hear. When your child talks, use every opportunity to say one or two things about how you feel about certain things and hear what they have to say. You know, so peer pressure comes in when they're not fitting into the home and they want to feel among with their friends. They want their friends, what they want is just recognition. That's all they want. And if they're getting it from home and being praised for every little thing they do, they don't need their friends to tell them how fantastic they are. They get enough dosing of love from home.
Okay, let's take a break. When we come back, you'll tell us how teenagers can handle peer pressure.
Okay. Because I see you are very interested in peer pressure.
But because you might inculcate all the things you think you have, but when the challenge shows up, do they have what it takes? Do they remember all the things you taught them?
Maybe if you give them a bit of trust.
Okay, when we come back, we will answer that. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Doctor, please tell us about this peer pressure, how teenagers can handle.
Okay, I see that you're very particular about peer pressure.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's something that most parents are actually worried about, having to get their children to be themselves, even with their friends, and not necessarily doing everything their friends are doing. Yeah, peer pressure can be bad, it can be good. So I think I would take it that we're talking about the bad
peer influence?
Yeah, negative peer pressure. The first and foremost, parents should not hide information from their children. That's the first thing. Give them all the necessary information they need. Not necessarily raw. You look at their age and age-appropriate information. You can give them that same information you would give to your 15-year-old. It will be in a different format for an 8-year-old, but the point is that the message is driven. And then building skills on how to say no. Some children just don't know how to say no. You know, a lot of other skills, you know, critical thinking. Before you, like we always use that expression, look before you leap. But a lot of children are not given that, they're not taught how to look before they leap. People just order them. But have you given them the opportunity to actually develop how to look before they leap? You know, some children, people just throw things at them.
Yeah,
they don't even think about it.
Let's talk, because if you want to look at it from our culture, children are not supposed to be heard. They are supposed to be seen. So when your child is trying to say something, you say, shut up!
That's what I'm telling you. That is what I'm telling you, that if from the home, the child's self-esteem is not developed, and that child doesn't have a voice in the house, but he's having a voice outside, where do you think he will want to talk more or do things?
Talk to his friends.
You find out that the child that is timid in the home is actually a bully in the school. I hope you understand, because there's so much going on, emotion. Sometimes that's the only way they can actually show and express their distaste for what is going on in the house.
So talk more about how to say no.
We can't
actually... To the teenagers right now.
Well,
how do you say no?
First of all, ask yourself, are you supposed to be in the right place? Are you supposed to do what you're supposed to do? If your parent or somebody that, you know, you're coming from, a home you're coming from, was around, would you be able to still do the same thing? You know, and then ask your teenager, what do they value most? Have they thought about the outcome of that thing they're being asked to do? Because that's where critical analysis comes. They should be able to critical analysis. You have to critically analyze what you're being asked to do. What is the pros? If I do this thing now, how many good will come out of it as opposed to the bad? That is the easiest way to make them actually think. Now, if you are going to have more goods than bad, go ahead. In as much as you're ready to bear the consequences of the outcome. Because everything, this is how I tell my children, everything is equals to something. Everything you do, you must get a report. Now, whatever the result is, you must sit down and think about that result. I make them think out what could possibly come and how they can handle it if the result comes. And they give you different answers. Now, ask yourself, if I get caught, or if they decide to they catch me and they beat me, can I stand it? You know, all those little things are ways you can make them actually learn how to say no. So when they've thought of all the nonsense that will come out of it, before you even finish the sentence, no.
This is very good information that you're sending out.
They'll tell you no. You know, because what they need is just information and teaching them how to do that. Teach them how to be assertive, you know, and then let their no be their no. Not that the one they'll be smiling and be saying no.
But when you're in a situation that all your friends or everybody around you is doing the same thing.
That's where self-esteem, you can't actually separate the two. You understand? You can't do everything to please people. You have to do things to please yourself first.
Don't be a people.
Don't be following the crowd. Be unique. You know, you have to let them know that. And then let them have a role model. Find out who your children's role model is, rather. Because sometimes from the role model, they always want to do the things those ones do. It's very important. If you don't know that, but just that's something you need to take up, because every child looks up to somebody. So you need to find that out, because they might end up wanting to do. I know someone that looks up to Two-Face. He walks like Two-Face. He cuts his hair like Two-Face. Everything's all about Two-Face. So that is very important in a child's growing up.
Chidimma, thank you very much. I know you are a friend and you always come back. Thank you for coming. We'll be right back for Medicine from Your Kitchen. You stay with us, don't go away. Welcome to Edak WIllie show. This is Medicine from Your Kitchen. A lot of people complain that they do not really know what to eat in the morning, and breakfast is very, very important. It is key to how your whole day will turn out. And the nutritionists have explained to us over and over again that we should do more of fruits and vegetables. And most of the time, you cannot sit down and finish this bowl of vegetable. So we have found a way of making it very, very nice and palatable. This is ewedu. What this vegetable is called ewedu in the Yoruba. It draws. I think almost everybody is familiar with it. So what you do, you get a handful like this. I've washed mine already. So now this is my orange juice. Get this kind of orange, wash, cut, squeeze out. Need 2 or 3 oranges will give you this amount of liquid. You add to your ewedu and you blend. You see, it doesn't take time, because some people will say, where is the time? This one within, if you prepare it, cut it, wash the leaves, keep it in your fridge overnight. In the morning, all you need to do is to just squeeze the orange, add to your ewedu, blend. You make it very smooth, so you don't have to sieve it. See, a glass of this. Try it and see. It's really, really nice. Very nice. And what this particular one will also do for you is that it helps to relieve constipation. Most people are constipated. Try this. That's my tip for you today. Thank you for watching. And if you need more information or the recipe that we've just shown, go to our Facebook, website, email us, call us. We'll attend to you. Thank you for watching. See you next time. My name is Edak WIllie.